everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and I hope everyone out there is happy, healthy and enjoying the collecting. In today's 1/12 scale figure review, we're going to be taking an up-close look at Neca's Pennywise, the Dancing Clown Ultimate Edition, as played by Bill Skarsgård in the 2017 Stephen King penned movie It. The review will take the usual format. We'll have a quick look at the box, then it'll be down onto the table for a look at all the accessories, then it will be out with the dancing clown himself, onto the turntable for a close-up look, and then we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. But before we get into it, I'd like to send out a massive thank you to everyone who supported and subscribed to the channel. I am aware that a lot of people are watching these reviews and watching these videos and not subscribing to the channel, so please make an old man happy, turn that view into a subscribe. It's your subscriptions that keep us going. So yeah, please do that. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. Also as well, it's worth mentioning at this point that this channel isn't sponsored by any manufacturer or any supplier. All the figures, all the statues, everything you see on the channel has been bought with my own hard-earned cash. What we aim to do here is be as objective as possible with what's in front of us, free from bias and outside influences. But yeah, so if you haven't already, as I say, please hit that subscribe button. We have got lots more content coming up on the channel in all manner of scales and sizes and so on. We'll be listing some of that content before we zip over to the showcase at the end, as we always do. So, some background. Now, this figure, the film itself was released back in 2017 with an iconic performance from Mr. Skarsgård, in my opinion. It's a great movie, excellent performances, well directed, genuinely creepy. Chapter 2, not as good. In my opinion, it's overly long, it's tonally inconsistent, and just not as scary as the first film. But both films are well worth viewing, and if you haven't seen them already, I do suggest you seek them out. Now, Neca have released a lot of Pennywise figures from both the first and the second movies, but this particular iteration is from the first film. It was released about 4 years ago. It is a brand new figure. It is still sealed. But that's enough of my ramblings. Let's have a look at the box itself. Let's stop the turntable from spinning and have a closer look at this. As you've probably already seen, this is the usual high standard of presentation that we sort of come to expect from Neca. What you've got is slightly larger than average box because there's more bits and pieces in this with this figure than the usual Neca figure. But yeah, you've got this rather nice front cover, which has got this sort of Circus funfair hoarding on it, this weathered boarding, and it says Pennywise, the Dancing Clown. You've got a sort of image of Pennywise himself in the centre there. It says It in the top right-hand corner. On the sides here, it says It once again. And Neca Real Toys at the bottom there. That's repeated on the other side. On the top, it just says It, and there's a warning. On the bottom here, we'll just flip this round. There are some battery-operated accessories here, so there's some instructions on how to activate the batteries. And there's the usual credits and warnings here. Don't piss this figure off, or you might wake up to find your bathroom has been repainted. An interesting new colour called Hint of Arterial Spray. But yeah, on the back of the box, you've got these really nice images, some fantastic photography of the figure itself in all manner of poses, and they're framed in these what look like old wooden frames. Really bold, really effective. And there's a brief description of the film itself in the top left-hand corner. So yeah, very nicely presented. What you do have here is the usual Velcroed fastened flat front, and you open it up. And this one actually folds downwards rather than book style. You've got the usual clear plastic window with the figure behind it and all the accessories, and then you've got this rather nice picture on the internal flap of the figure itself. Very, very well photographed. Got this burning circus scene almost at the back there. But yeah, very, very nicely done. Super high glossy, very well presented, and just a very nice box, as what the kind of thing that we've come to expect from Neca in their presentation. So yeah, that's enough of the box. So without further ado, let's crack those seals, dive down onto the table and have a look at all the bits and pieces that come with your Pennywise figure. Okay, so here we are down on the table with all the accessories that come with your Pennywise the Dancing Clown Ultimate Edition from Neca. Let's start with the hands, as we always do. What you've got here are, there's a pair of, I was going to say hands on the figure, but you've already seen that when we took a look at the box. They're the huge crab arms, which we'll take a look at when we bring out the figure itself. But in addition to that, you get these two swap out arms and these two swap out hands. We'll take a look at these hands first. These simply peg into these interchangeable forearms. Relatively straightforward. White gloves, really well sculpted, really well painted. Just white paint washes all over there. There's some detailing on this. If I can get this into camera, get this camera to focus. There's some detailing on the back of the gloves there. There's seams in there. And yeah, overall just a really nice sculpt and really well painted, and what we've come to expect from Neca. So yeah, those are the swappable hands. You've got a right and left, and they're both pretty much identical. And those are swapped out with these forearms, as I mentioned. Now, these swappable forearms are really, really nicely done. We'll get these as close into camera as possible so you can see the detailing. The paint applications look really good. There's shading in the creases there. The colour of the actual outfit itself looks screen accurate. I don't own any other Neca 1/12 scale figures, but having checked out some of the photographs, this particular version is designed to look more like the version that they confront at the end of the movie, down in the bowels of the earth, which is very dirty and very messy. The outfit itself, and it looks like Neca have replicated that really, really well with these paint applications. You've got the tassels on there that are sculpted in plastic. You've got the ruffles on the inside with some weathering on those as well. But yeah, the colours look right, the paint applications are good, and it's simply a case of, if you're wanting to swap the hands out, they're pegged in here, and it's a case of, and this is a brand new figure, so still very stiff, but I will attempt to do this. There you go. The usual Neca peg, and if you're wanting to swap out the hands, simply goes on like that into the peg that. And it will go eventually, as I say. Sometimes it might need a little bit of work to get these in, especially with a new figure. But eventually they will go. So yeah, those are the swappable forearms and the swappable hands. Let's take a look at these heads now. There's one head already on the figure itself, and you also get these three interchangeable heads, which really are sort of the. Along with the crab arms, these are the this figure's party piece. We'll start with this one. I really do like this one. This is the Flute Lady. Those of you who've seen the film will recognise this rather creepy, lopsided face almost instantly. It's the painting on the wall which sort of comes to life, and which is Pennywise himself in art form. But yeah, what Neca have done here is really, really nice. The sculpt looks screen accurate to me. The paint applications are very good. The colours are right. They've captured that really spooky off-centre lopsided face really well. Paint applications, particularly on the teeth here, are very, very nice, and the eyes, you've got those whited out eyes, that slightly elongated and angular face. The hair is done really well with the paint applications and the sculpt and the bun at the back there, and it's just a really, really nice addition to the set to have this. It'd be nice to see a complete 1/12 Flute Lady. That'd be nice for Neca to do if they ever got round to it. But yeah, very nice addition. Suitably creepy, very well painted and very well sculpted. So we'll put the Flute Lady's head to one side, and then you get these other two Pennywise swap out heads. We'll start with this one with the burnt arms coming out of the mouth, and this is suitably creepy. Very, very nice sculpt on this with the extended jawline. The paint applications are nice. The hair is really well done with those individual strands picked out, if the camera will focus. You've got that sort of cracking effect in the forehead there, which is screen accurate. Has been picked out with some great grey paint applications. Just overall, a really, really nice sculpt. And these arms themselves are really well done. the paint washes on here to make them look burnt are very, very good. I'm not sure, I'll get this close in so you can see this under this light. But yeah, paint applications on these arms are fantastic. And I believe that these have some articulation to them. Yeah, they do. They actually do move. So if you're wanting to, it's not a vast amount of articulation, you can probably see it there, but they do move. So if you're wanting to move them around a little bit to get that to get the desired position for your display, then that's an option there as well. And really nice to see that articulation. So yeah, very well sculpted, exceptionally well painted, the high standards we've come to expect from Neca in 1/12 scale, and suitably creepy it is too. So yeah, that's the burnt arms head sculpt. And finally, the deadlight head sculpt. Now, this is, or the duck head sculpt as I like to call it, this is very, very nicely done as well. You might notice that the hairpiece is not fully attached, but I'll explain why that is. Now, this is from the sequence in the film where virtually his face peels back, and you're confronted with this this row of teeth, not dissimilar to the sandworms in June, and the white glowing light starts at the back of the mouth there and gradually gets brighter and brighter. But once again, as with the burnt arms head sculpt, the paint applications are really, really nice. You've got an absence of features here because these features disappear when this particular effect is happening. So the features are gone, and you can probably see why I call it the duck face. But yeah, excellent paint applications, really, really well sculpted, some really nice detailing in there. And then you come to its party piece. Now, you might notice that this head, this part of the head here is slightly raised. That's because I've had to get in there with a tool to actually pop this open. Wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do straight out of the box, because if you take the top of the head off here, this hairpiece, you're greeted with a button here and space for a button cell battery. So now this has been, I'll say from the get-go here, this is a 4-year-old, nearly 4-year-old figure. I've had it for quite some time. It's been in storage. It's only just come out for us to review today to sort of coincide with the release of the It Pennywise TV show. But what you're supposed to do is pull out the battery guard here. If my fingernails can get in there. Now, we could be looking at a 4-year-old battery here that decides it doesn't want to work, but let's hope that it still works. That is fantastic to see after all this time. So yeah, you've got the option in the display there, single button cell battery underneath this flap that you can get to by removing this screw here to replace. And this is under some very bright LEDs, and the fact that this is illuminated so well is good to see. So yeah, that's an option for your display as well. We'll put the hairpiece back on if it wants to go back on. This is the first time I've tried this, getting it off and taking it and putting it back on again. But yeah, there is a little bit of a seam line around there, but I suppose that's to be expected when you're looking at a battery compartment, and Neca have done their best to conceal this button in the hair. But I mean, obviously this head's going to be tilted back if you're using it on the figure, so you're not going to see this these particular seam lines and button at the back. So yeah, simply a case of pressing that button, and there you go. You can use the illuminated duct sculpt in your display if you so wish. So yeah, that's the last of the head sculpts. So without further ado, let's bring out the dancing clown himself, get him onto the turntable and have a close-up look at him. Okay, so here he is. It's Pennywise himself, straight out of the box, straight onto the turntable, and first impressions. First impressions are very, very good indeed. I'm going to start calling Neca Old Faithful, because really in the 1/12 scale world, Neca is one of those, how can I put this? They're a stalwart, they are a consistent, they are... you know what you're getting with Neca, and they always deliver. I'm a huge fan. I really, really am a huge fan of their 1/12 scale figures and some of their quarter scale figures as well, which we're going to be reviewing at some point on the channel as well. But yeah, first impressions, absolutely spot on. Colours are right, the outfit is right, the screen accuracy is there, the proportions are correct. The paint applications look to be of the usual high standard that Neca always provide. Yeah, just another great figure from Neca. We'll take a closer look. We'll stop him from spinning. We'll get him off the turntable, and by some miracle as well, he's actually freestanding on this turntable, even with those ridiculous arms, which is nice to see. But yeah, so we'll bring him round and take a closer look. In actual fact, we'll get him off this turntable because eventually he is going to fall over. We know this. So let's have a look at the detailing here. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up as we always do with figures. The boots themselves pegged in. Well, they're not actually pegged in. I retract that statement. They look like they're actually, yeah, they're not pegged in at all. They're just fully part of the leg itself. So there's no movement there. But the paint applications are really nice, and the screen accuracy there is there with the boots. They've got the little pommel thing at the front of there, the little red fluffy bit at the front. The paint applications are really nice. There's some weathering on there. Lace is all sculpted, obviously. Yeah, lack of movement there, but it seems to be made up for in the legs. The actual bottom part of both these legs here, these tufts of material that stick out, these are a softer plastic than the legs themselves. The legs are a hard plastic, but these are slightly softer, as is this waistband here. Try and get this into shot. Good for posing. Obviously, having that flexibility there means that you can move the legs a little bit more freely when you're posing the figure. The paint applications look really, really nice. As we mentioned in the previous section here, I mean, this is the slightly dirtier, more weathered look that you get at the climax of the movie when they're down in the depths of the earth. They've captured that really, really nicely with the washers here. The detailing is really, really good. Let's have a look at the articulation in these legs. Yeah, it's what we've come to expect from Neca. You've got a joint at the knee there, which is pretty much almost fully covered when you flex that knee joint. So you're not losing that consistency of the material of the outfit itself, and that's continued around the back. There's only one thing that really sort of stands out to me as that could be improved here, and that's and I see this a lot with Neca figures, and it's a personal gripe, I suppose, but it would be nice to see the hinges in the back here. I know very few of us look at the figures from the back, but it would be nice to see these hinges here, because it's a double jointed knee, obviously, just maybe painted or something done to them. I mean, they've used a grey plastic to replicate the grey of the outfit, but it'd be nice to see a paint wash on there. I know the chances are it would rub off, but just to keep that consistency in the outfit. But yeah, moving up the outfit, as I mentioned, this the sort of the skirt section is a much more pliable, flexible plastic. Some nice paint washes on there. The sculpt is good to give it that material-like effect. You move up to the actual tunic itself. That's goes back to that hard plastic. You've got the three pommels in the middle there, the three pom-poms in the middle. Huge debate about where those should be. The anal amongst us, some people think that they should be straight down the front. Some people think they should be offset. I'm not going to enter into that argument. I think they look great. I think they did move around a little bit between chapter 1 and chapter 2. But I think that looks on point to me. But yeah, once again, the paint applications in the ruffles on the shoulders is really good. Once again, capturing that material feel. The ruffles around the neck are really nicely done. There's some dry brushing in there, and some paint applications to give it that material look and that depth. The head sculpt, absolutely on point. I will try and get this in as close as I can to the camera. And it never ceases to amaze me how Neca managed to pack so much detail into their 1/12 figures. It really is phenomenal. Obviously, the smaller these figures get, the harder it is to actually to capture the likeness. And the paint applications become that much harder to do. But they've really caught Pennywise beautifully there, and they've gone for that sort of fanged long teeth look that he has, rather than just the the straight face look, and yeah, they've captured it brilliantly. It looks like there's still a piece of plastic actually underneath there. Yes, there is. There's some plastic from when it. We'll just pull that to one side and try and remove that. But it's got some what looks like tape or plastic caught in the neck area there. Yeah, but they've even on doing that actually, you can see that they've actually even painted the neck area really well to match the head sculpt. So yeah, eyes are really nice. The hair is really well done with individual strands picked out. There's multiple colours in there. There's sort of oranges. There's some dirty browns. There's some blacks and yellows. Just absolutely on point as always. And let's take a look at these arms now. Those who've seen the film will know the sequence where his arms transform into these sort of huge crab-like arms, and he attempts to impale his fleeing victims. These are really nicely done. Once again, the sculpt is on point and screen accurate as far as I can tell. The paint applications are really nice. There's reds and there's greys in there. The articulation is good on these. You've got a joint about halfway up there. Then there's another joint there, and that's where it's actually pegged on. So if you're wanting to use the swappable forearms, that's where you attach them. There's a joint at the shoulder there. Not a vast amount of movement in there. It's more sort of the circuit. There's no lateral movement in there, but the vast majority of the movement here is coming from the elbow and this second joint in the crab claw itself, and that's replicated on the other side. So and you can really go to town with these arms. You can have some fantastically menacing poses, and great to play around with. Yeah, with the other arms, it makes for some fantastic options for the display. Let's just have a look at the back again. Yeah, that paint application is just what we've come to expect from Neca in their 1/12 scale figures. So there you have it. That is the Pennywise Dancing Clown Ultimate Edition from Neca. And will he stand up again on the turntable on his own? I am, once again, I'm amazed at how stable this figure is, and the fact that it hasn't gone for a Burton at any point during this section of the review is great. Good to see. So yeah, we'll get him rotating again. Final thoughts. Now he's caught there. Let's just move him forward a little bit on the turntable. Yeah, he nearly went then, but we'll try and get him back up on his pins again. So yeah, there you have it. That is Neca's take on Pennywise the Dancing Clown, the Ultimate Edition from the first movie, It. So final thoughts. Well, it's a bit like a comfort blanket. Purchasing a Neca figure, you know what you're getting. You know you're not going to be let down, and they've done what they do best. It's Neca flexing, and they produce another fantastic 1/12 scale figure. If I had to give it a score, it would have been very close to a 10, but I'm going to mark it down, and this is a personal niggle, and I mentioned it before. It's those joints. Some kind of solution. If not paint, then something else. Maybe something in the production of those joints, just to better hide those joints at the back. But that's a minor niggle on my part. It's, as I say, it's once again Neca doing what they do best. So yeah, there you have it. That's Pennywise. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope it's been useful. If you have this figure in your collection, let me know in the comment section below. What's your take on it? If you don't have it in your collection, I'd like to hear from you anyway. What do you think of Neca, and what do you think of this figure? And I suppose all it remains for me to say is thank you for watching. Oh, what's coming up? Yeah, almost forgot. In the 1/12 scale world, we have got a lot of things on the horizon. We're going to be taking a look at Neca's Evil Dead 2 30th anniversary double set. We're going to be taking a look at the Old Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth. We've got a lot of T2 stuff. Specifically, we're going to be taking a look at the Motorcycle Cop version, the T1000. We've got some Jungle Hunter. We've got a Jungle Hunter Predator. Oh, there's lots of 1/12 scale stuff. In the 6 scale world, we've got HH Model, Achilles, that's Brad Pitt from Troy. We're still waiting on the Sideshow Dirty Harry. Fingers crossed that's on its way. In Art Batman, fingers crossed that's going to be released soon. We've just taken delivery of the Hot Toys Catwoman, the version 2, so the review for that will be going up soon. From Premier Toys, we're going to be getting the Interstellar figures and the Doof Warrior from Mad Max Fury Road. There's lots and lots of stuff in the 1/6 scale world coming up. 1/4 scale statues. Finally, the Prime 1 and Blitzway Paul Atreides is on its way to us, so we should be seeing that pretty soon. So yeah, as you can tell, there's an awful lot of stuff coming in, and also we're going to be there'll be retro reviews, showcases, and all the usual good stuff. So, as I mentioned before, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon, and all it remains for me to say, it's from Pennywise the Clown and from myself, take care of yourselves, happy collecting.